or two will mean more to you if you can make the winning touchdown. You'll never have to buy them pearls. You gotta be a football hero to get along with the beautiful girls, girls, girls. To get along with the beautiful girls.
Hey, everybody. I'm Chris Massey. Welcome to Keeping It Real Sports here on the American Hearts Radio Network. I appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Mr. Al, how you doing?
Doing good.
Very good, very good. Now, since our last show, there have been a lot of great things happen in Atlanta sports. The Falcons beat the Seahawks in the first round of the playoffs. Then Atlanta beat the Green Bay Packers at the last game at the Georgia Dome and propelled the Atlanta Falcons into their second Super Bowl in the 51-year history of the franchise. It was in an amazing It was an amazing event. I mean, them hoisting up the trophy. That is the fourth NFC Championship game the Falcons have played in, and they have won two of them. And Arthur Blank it was his first trip there, and the confetti and everything, and things were really looking good. Matt Ryan was named the MVP of the NFL, the first Atlanta Falcon to win this prestigious honor. He also won Offensive Player of the Year. Now, the other good thing that happened was that in the second half of the game against the New England Patriots, the Falcons were winning 28-3. And that is where the good news ends. Now, I've been a Falcon fan since 1970. Went to my first game when I was 8 years old. Falcons lost. The Falcons were not very good in the 70s. In fact, as a whole, except for about the last 10 years, the Falcons franchise has been dismal. I mean, it really has. So here's what I'll tell you. If somebody would have told me at the beginning of the year that we were going to go to the Super Bowl, I'd have said, not a chance. But if somebody would have told me Atlanta's going to go to the Super Bowl and they're going to blow a 25-point lead in the second half and lose, that I would have believed. That I would have believed. Because that's the kind of things that happen to Atlanta. Like our starting strong safety in 1998 in our first Super Bowl appearance, getting arrested for soliciting a prostitute the night before the game, not getting any sleep, and getting burned on a long touchdown pass by John Elway. That's the kind of things that happen in Atlanta. Got the greatest, one of the most exciting quarterbacks in NFL history. Gets arrested for dogfighting. Okay? I mean, do I need to say any more? I mean, that's just the kind of thing that happens with the Falcons. Now, the most disheartening thing about this loss was that we could have won, and I'm not talking about blowing the lead, but in the fourth quarter, when it was 28-20, Matt Ryan completed a pass to Julio Jones, which will go down as one of the most incredible catches in Super Bowl history. I mean, this is right up there with the Lynn Swann catches against the Cowboys back in the 70s. Now, if you look in Super Bowl history, you'll always find that in a close game, somebody on the winning team makes a play. They make an unbelievable play. Julio made it. Julio made the play that could have brought us the world championship. First down on the New England 22 in field goal range. And keep in mind, Matt Bryan, our kicker, is the best kicker in football. Okay? He was going to the Pro Bowl, for crying out loud. Now, what transpired after this is the thing that will be haunting Atlanta Falcons maybe a lifetime, at least until the Falcons do win a Super Bowl, if that ever happens. Now, there are three main players in what happened that caused us to lose this game. One is offensive coordinator Kyle Shanahan. The other one is head coach Dan Quinn. And the other one, yes, is quarterback Matt Ryan. Now, we just needed one of these three guys to figure out that what we needed to do when we had the ball 1st and 10 on the New England 22 was run it 3 times and kick a field goal. Now, we kick the field goal, that makes it a 2-possession game. Running the ball 3 straight times is going to run time off the clock. New England would either have to see the clock dwindle down, or they would be forced to use their timeouts. Now, I know some of you are saying, well, Chris, what if he wouldn't have made the field goal? Even if he doesn't make it, the time on the clock goes off, or New England has to use their timeouts. Okay? Never crossed Kyle Shanahan's mind. Never crossed Dan Quinn's. And Matt Ryan, man, he can change the play to whatever he wants, especially since Kyle Shanahan, this bozo, is out of there. It's the last game he's going to be an assistant coach for the Falcons, but none of them realized it. You know, none of them did. We ran the ball on first down, and we lost a yard. So what? You lost 1 yard. It just went from a 39-yard field goal to a 40-yard field goal. I don't care if you lose a yard on the next 2 plays. It's still a 43-yard field goal and very makeable. Second down, Kyle Shanahan calls a pass play. Not a quick out, 3-step drop pass play, but a 5-step drop pass, looking to throw the ball downfield like we need a freaking touchdown. We don't need a touchdown. All we need is a field goal. What happens? Matt Ryan gets sacked for an 11-yard loss. Now, Devontae Freeman, you get some of the blame because you just completely missed the block. I mean, just completely missed it. The guy blew right by you. And we had our second team right tackle in there because our starting right tackle had been hurt, which makes more sense to run the ball. We didn't do it. We lost 11 yards. So we lose 11 yards. The ball goes back now to the 34-yard line. That would make it, from there, a 51-yard field goal. Still makeable. Okay? Third down. Do we play it safe? Try to pick up maybe 3 or 4 yards? Or are we trying to get a first down? Well, we tried to get closer. With 3 or 4 yards we didn't think was enough. So we threw a pass play, and we completed the ball, put us in really good shape for a field goal, but there's one problem. Left tackle Jake Matthews had his man in a chokehold. Got called for holding. So now they moved the ball back 10 yards. Now it is 3rd and 33. 3rd and 33. All we needed it to be was 3rd and 23. You know? We needed to make about 10 yards to get in field goal range, and we didn't do it. And we punted the ball, and New England marched down the field and scored the tying touchdown and the 2-point conversion. Now, I remember when it was 28-12 when the fourth quarter started. And, when it was 28-3, I was thinking New England will have to score every time they have the ball, and we will not have to score every time we have it just for them to tie. And that is exactly what happened. They scored a touchdown and missed an extra point, 28-9. They come down, we hold them, they kick the field goal, 28-12. And that was what the score was going into the fourth quarter. Now they have to make 2 touchdowns and 2 2-point conversions. Conversion rate on 2-point conversions is 50%. Makes perfect sense that if you run 2, you're only going to make 1. Well, it didn't happen that way. They made both of them. Then the game goes into overtime, and as it goes into overtime, we lose the toss. And I knew right then the game was over. We had not stopped New England the whole second half. But Dan Quinn, here we are in overtime, the championship on the line. We got 3 timeouts, and New England is just marching down the field like we're melted butter. Why didn't you call timeout? Why didn't you stop the clock? Let your defense catch their breath. What are you going to do with those 3 timeouts? You don't get to use them next year, for crying out loud. You know? He does nothing. Nothing. You know? And another thing, Arthur Blank, keep your ass up in the booth, okay? You looked ridiculous down there on the sidelines chewing your fingernails with a look on your face like you're constipated. Did you see Robert Kraft, the owner of the most successful franchise in the NFL? Did you see him down on the field? No. He stays in the box because that's where owners are supposed to stay. They'll still put the camera on you. You don't need to come down on the field. And if you are going to come down on the field, maybe you could have been the one that told them that they needed to run the damn ball 3 times. Because somebody didn't tell them. Now, every football fan in Georgia that's even a casual fan, when we made that first down with Julio Jones, everybody was high-fiving and saying, we run the ball 3 times and we kick the damn field goal and we're world champs. You know, we're talking about accountants, truck drivers, garbage collectors, dope dealers, people on unemployment. Everybody knew, except for Kyle Shanahan, Dan Quinn, and Matt Ryan. Now, I know a lot of you are saying, well, we'll bounce back. You know, we'll be there next year. Don't count on it. The Buffalo Bills that lost 4 straight Super Bowls, can you imagine that? Was the last team to lose the Super Bowl and go back to the Super Bowl. And that was in the early 1990s. The Falcons next year will play the NFC East and the AFC East, which means that we will play the Cowboys and the New York Giants and the Washington Redskins and the Philadelphia Eagles, a team we cannot beat no matter how good we are. We lost to them this year. In the AFC East, we will play the New England Patriots. We will play the Miami Dolphins, 2 playoff teams. And the Jets and Buffalo, one of those games will be up there, and it could be in the snow. That will be rough. You have got 6 games against your always tough NFC South rivals. 2 with Carolina, 2 with New Orleans, and 2 with Tampa. You went 5-1 against the division this year. Chances of that happening again next year are not good. And because you finished in first place, your prize is you get to play the first place team from the NFC North and the first place team from the NFC West, which means you will play the Green Bay Packers and Seattle. So that's Seattle, Green Bay, Dallas, the Giants, Redskins, Eagles, New England, Miami, Carolina twice, Saints twice, Tampa twice. I wouldn't be buying any Super Bowl tickets. The other thing you have to realize is we were injury-free almost the whole year. Our offensive line played just about every single snap together. Julio had a toe injury, and yes, he missed some games, but it didn't hurt us because we had so many great wide receivers. The chances of next year going again injury-free, not likely. It's not likely. I mean, we were so close. I mean, and this is a city that really needs a championship. We were so close. Had it. It was sitting there saying, take us. Reach out and grab us. Couldn't pull it off. Couldn't do it. Of course, all of you know that Atlanta's only world championship, unless you want to count the Atlanta Chiefs soccer team in 1968, which we don't. The Atlanta Braves won the World Series in 1995. But let me tell you a little something that a lot of people don't realize about that championship. That championship came in a strike-shortened season. When the 1995 season started, in 1994, the season ended in August because of the strike. We didn't have a World Series. And in 1995, it carried over for 18 games. So we only played 144 games that year. Now, if you look at the Atlanta Braves, they were the best team in baseball for a long time for 162 games. Best regular season, 162 games, they're the best. Couldn't get it done in the playoffs. I think their playoff record is something like 62-70 overall. Now, they played 144 regular season games that year. They took 3 of 5. They went 5 games with the Colorado Rockies, so that's 149 games. They went 4 games with the Cincinnati Reds, that's 153. And they went 6 games with the Cleveland Indians, which is 159. So what I'm saying is this, is if they had played 162 games, they might not have won it either. If the season would have only been 159 games all those other years, hell, we'd have 10 World Series championships. So, I mean, it's just very disheartening, and I tried not to buy into it, and I tried not to get excited, but I did, and it is probably the most exciting disappointment I have ever had in my life. It's like winning the lottery ticket. And when you go to collect your money, they say they made a mistake. These are not really aren't the numbers. That's what it was like. So, the off season, we'll see what happens with the Falcons. They'll be one of the favorites next year. They got a lot of young players, but it's going to be a tough road to hoe. But hopefully we'll get back to the playoffs and get there. But everything went Atlanta's way this year. The injuries. A 4 seed, Green Bay went to Dallas and beat the number 1 seed. That doesn't happen often. And we were able to get that home game with Green Bay instead of going to Dallas. So, and the thing that sickens me more than anything is that Dan Quinn stands up there and says, we made the right decision, not running the ball. The way the world is now, you cannot get on TV and say you're wrong.
You need to run for president.
That's right. You can't say you were wrong. Because as soon as you say you're wrong and you made a mistake, everybody wants you fired. So you have to get up there and lie about it. I mean, that's just the way it is. Even married people. Even I get to tell my wife I screwed up. She don't want a divorce. But that ain't the way it works with the media. You say you were wrong and they let you have it. In other news, the Georgia Bulldogs have one of the best recruiting classes they've ever had. Ranked number 3 by the people that know about this. Kirby Smart went out and got a lot of linemen, a lot of defensive backs, and the future looks bright there. Georgia Tech had a fine recruiting class as well. The Atlanta Braves will be starting spring training before we come back out on the air in March, and that is what we'll be talking about back then. So right now we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back with a final word.
Are you a homeowner? Has your loan been sold multiple times to other lenders? Were your loan originators New Century or Countrywide? If the answer is yes to these questions, we believe you may have a case against your current lender. You can exercise your right to validate your loan. All lenders must produce the documents required by law to prove ownership of the loan. This is called validation. We at AmeriDocs Process prepare the documents you need to gather evidence showing the loan is invalid. This means you, the homeowner, cannot get a clear title. You have the right to challenge the mortgage note to quiet the title in the court of law. Give us a call at 1-800-296-1477. 1-800-296-1477. That's 1-800-296-1477. Visit our website, www.ameridocsprocess.com. www.ameridocsprocess.com. That's www.ameridocsprocess.com.
Hey everybody, Johnny Manzan here. Just got through listening to Chris Massey's new CD, Tuckerville. You guys should go check it out. Great record, great CD, should I say, or record, whichever one you want to talk about or say these days. But I still call them records. Anyway, check it out. Great one. God bless. See you soon. Rock and roll.
Lights shine on me, aren't as bright as I hope they'd be. By now, thought I'd be somewhere I may never be. And I know it's hard to think that somehow I can still believe. The dream that I've been dreaming, it comes true. With every song I sing, every song I sing, every song I sing.
Be a part of our family, bringing the hearts of America together. Please contact us. We thank you for your support. Become a part of our family of supporters today. Call 904-229-8150. That's 904-229-8150. Call today at 904-229-8150. Please visit us at www.americanheartsradio.com.
Okay, we're back. Okay, so next month the Braves will be in full swing in spring training. We'll be getting ready for that big opening day of baseball season. March Madness will probably be in the Sweet 16 round when we come back on, and of course the Hawks will be doing their thing, so they can make the playoffs and get eliminated in the first, second round like they do every year. Okay, because as long as LeBron James is in the league, you guys ain't gonna win a championship. That's just the way it goes. So anyway, until next time, we'll see you.
Spite of all $1 million can do, a tackle or two will mean more to you if you can make the